Creativity is an addiction. How do I know this? Because we live it. We live it every day. You just haven't admitted it to yourself, that you've got to have someone else's creativity in order to feel like you're surviving, or you need your own in order to breathe. Unplugged, because we will always say yes to creativity. Totally Uncut, because we all make mistakes. So turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged.
Hey, it's Arroe, and this is Defrag. Asking the questions and then questioning the answers. Taking the physical opportunity to figure out who, what, where, why, when, and how you are becoming, will become, and more importantly, how did it even happen? Asking the questions and then questioning the answers. This is Defrag. Now, I do defragging in so many different shapes and forms. I have a defrag journal that I keep every day. And the reason for that is because I'm constantly asking questions, or things will happen and I like to just break things down. You should see me with the musicians that I talk to. When I go in there, I look at their song lyrics and I break them down. Sometimes they get a little offended by that because they want me to have my own interpretation and not for them to tell me what is happening and why that song happened to come into play. In fact, I was with these guys the other day, and what was pretty funny is I said, tell me one thing. You guys aren't that band that can write a song in 20 minutes and you expect it to be a hit. And they kind of laughed that off by admitting, yeah, that's happened. And it's like, how does it happen? And so I ask questions, and then I question their answers. That's what defragging is all about. So I keep a defrag journal, a handwritten journal, and I do go back and study it. It is for the future person. It could be me, it could be anybody, but you learn from these different lessons in life is what you do when you defrag. And the other way that I do it is I do it here vocally, because I talk with so many people of the creative line of life. They go, why hasn't somebody shown me how to become a defragger? And that's what this was about. I kept asking myself as the writer, why are you keeping this to yourself? What's wrong with you? And so I had to figure out ways that we could have conversations. The majority of the time when we defrag here, I'm usually out on what's called a transition walk. We all go through transitions throughout our day, from who we are in the morning to where we are when we have to go to work and blah, blah, blah. But we go through transitions. But one of the things that we have never been trained to do is to study the transitions, is to learn from the transitions, because you're transitioning, you're being given energy from the universe, and you're becoming something, and you've got to learn how to speak with it, or basically just listen to it. And so that's what the transition walk is all about. But I don't get one of those today. The reason why is because of the multiple layers of things that are expected of me. I am traveling to another city right now to do a movie premiere, and by the time this gets on the air, the movie's already going to be out. So I'm going to Ant-Man. I can talk about that because you're not going to hear this until 4 or 5 weeks after it's been recorded. But that means getting there really super early. And before that, before the premiere, I'm going to be sitting down with Scott Baio. Do you remember Scott Baio? Yeah. I'm going to be talking with him. And the subject today is animal rescue. We've rescued 9 dogs. And with Jazzy and Sammy and Sophia and the Maltese, it's just a great journey is what it is. And so Scott and I are going to sit down. We're going to have a conversation about the importance of rescuing animals. And that's going to happen before I do the movie premiere, and then I have to go off and do my stuff at CS. So it's a crazy day. So, but I want to put the subject on something here that really was created because of what I'm doing today, because of the tremendous amount of transitions that are expected today. From waking up after 3 days of unforgettable camping to what I have to go back to the real world. Why? This is stupid. Why do I do this to myself? Well, that's one person that I am, to now I have to be the writer, and now I've got to go off and do CS sometime today, and a coworker says, well, I hope you make it. And I said, all I was doing was sending you a text message to let you know that I'm going to be coming in there, and it might be a couple minutes late because I'm in a different town, but I'm still going to be there. Well, I hope you make it. He gave me attitude. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That to me is a wall. So the way that I handled that by defragging was I actually put this inside my heart. Every day, you, me, your parents, your friends, everybody, the mayor of your city, the president of the United States, we all face walls. We also face windows. And there are doors. My question to you is, as we defrag this, remember, ask the questions, question the answers. Where do you find the most solitude? Being next to the wall, standing in the window, or going out that door? It's a tough place to hang because there's a lot of expectations waiting for you outside that door. But at the same time, when you're standing in front of that window, oh yeah, you're expecting things out there to come to you. And by God, you better see them before they hit you. As for the wall, the great mystery, man, the great mystery. You don't know what's on the other side of that wall. And sometimes it just consumes every thought that you're trying to build. But the thing is, though, is that's where I find my biggest comfort, because I don't have to worry. I know that I'm in front of this wall, and this wall was built to protect me. But what am I going to do? Sit here all day and do nothing? No, I've got to get to the rays of light that are coming through the window. What are you going to do with the rays of light? You see what I mean? You start breaking things down and you start realizing that, okay, there are so many different levels of transition, but how am I going to participate with any of them if we're growing forward? That's the whole idea, is that I spend so much time with people who do nothing but live in a past that has been written and rewritten over and over again. And it's like, when do you participate with what's going on in your right now? Well, I don't know how to do that. That's tough. That's like somebody who has lost a tremendous amount of weight. They're looking good. They're feeling good. They're very active. And then it comes back. And you ask them, are you going to lose it again? No, it was too hard. Well, you know what? So is life. And so are the walls, the windows, and the doors. Now, you might ask, why didn't you pick the door and go out the door? Well, there's a reason why. You think that being behind that wall is the great mystery. Outside that door is even a greater mystery, because you don't know what other people's expectations are going to be for you. What are you going to have to sacrifice once you go outside that door? What are you going to do? Now, I like to outreach. I like to go out and I like to share things to help people grow forward, to discover new things about themselves and about, just basically just becoming a better leader in a place of business and or even as a future broadcaster. I like that. But then what happens is that when you share and you share too much, those takers are sucking the life right out of you. And you're going, okay, I got to breathe. And then you have another taker and then another taker and another taker. And you're going, I really can't breathe. How am I going to do this? So you do everything you can to get back through that door so you can hide behind that wall. And while you're panting and you're trying to get your blood pressure under control, then you're going, I ain't going out there anymore. But you have to, because you're an outreacher. You're a sharer. And so that's when you break things down with your defrag. And you do. You don't have to say, hey, God, what's the problem? You can say, I was out there in the universe and something bit me. I don't know what was out there in that universe that bit me, but it bit me hard. And so you find yourself in a place of asking those questions, and you break it down and you listen to it. And as you're listening to it, you learn. It may not be a thing that happens like in the right now, but that answer is on its way. I'm going to give you a good example, and this might push some people away. For 2 weeks, I was having unbelievable challenges inside my studio. It wasn't working. Modern day technology was not communicating with my studio equipment. And for 2 weeks, I thought I could fix it. I thought, I've got this. I know, I'll try this. I know, I'll call a friend. That friend will give me an idea. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Didn't work for 2 weeks. And then finally, in my defrag journal, I literally said, I have to give this to God. And it's there. The handwriting is right there. And it was done so at about 11 o'clock at night. I have to give this to God. Well, here's the thing. At 5:25 or so the next morning, I opened my eyes while dreaming because I said something. Phone adapter. I never even thought about a phone adapter. Because I cleared my mind of, okay, this is no longer in my hands. I relieved myself from the duties of trying to keep that control board in order. I gave it to a higher power and said, you fix it. And there was the answer at 5:30 in the morning, right there. And has it worked? Yeah. Yeah, it worked. Breaking it down. Letting go of a lot of things that you think that you're in control of. Standing next to that wall, fighting that wall, trying to get through that wall when the window has always been over there, and so has the door. And on that particular day, when I gave it to God, I walked through that door and I said, I can't do it. I can't. I've called on friends. They couldn't help me. I can't go out and buy a brand new control board. That's just not my thing right now. I know I can fix this. I'm going to give it to God. And it happened. It works. And now we're back to communicating again in ways that are better than what I had before. But why was I up against that wall? What was blocking me from getting a simple phone adapter? Who would have ever thought? I even called the phone company. They didn't say anything about a phone adapter. They didn't even offer me such an idea. They literally said, well, we've got Motorola on the phone right now with us, and they don't know. They don't know. So I had the wall, I had the window, and I had the door. And neither of them were serving the situation until I let it go. I knew I was no longer in control. Didn't make me a quitter, but what it did was it made me a listener. And in the process of becoming a listener, then you start seeing things through other ways of learning. Question the answers. Question everything that you do. It is not being a harsh parent. You're not being evil against yourself. What you're doing is you're growing with yourself. I'm Arroe, and that's Defrag.